But the problem though, is that 20% is not enough. When you have higher income, it pushes you into a higher bracket, then your tax rate goes up. He was above the 20% on average. So he ended up having a tax bill that year. And there were some things we could do. We were able to reduce that a little bit, but by and large, he was a little bit stuck. So the thing with gambling winnings is that a lot of them, if you have a poker winnings, they're not going to withhold anything on you. It's just going to be whatever the prize amount is. And so you just have to plan ahead, know that I have this income event. It's going to throw off all my other income as far as brackets go. It's going to throw off my itemized deductions if I have any. And then when it comes to gambling, there is a potential to deduct losses. So the losses is a weird thing. So number one, you're only allowed to deduct up to the amount you win. So if I win 10 grand, then I'm only allowed to deduct 10 grand in losses, even though I actually had 15 grand in losses. So that guy who won the $1 million, he bought 2 tickets. He never played again. He's the only person I've ever seen come out ahead on gambling or lottery or anything. Everybody else loses money. So if you have winnings, you can deduct up to the extent that you have losses. However, the losses go on your Schedule A, which is your itemized deductions. Your itemized deductions are not a 1-for-1 benefit because you have to overcome the standard deduction first. So 2025, if you're a married filing joint filer, you get a $30,000 standard deduction. And so your mortgage, your medical expenses above 7.5% of your income, your state and local taxes limited to $10,000, your charitable contributions, all that would have to add up to $30,000 before any gambling losses would start to offset 1-for-1. So even though you might have gambling winnings and gambling losses, a lot of times because of that standard deduction hurdle, the gambling losses don't actually help you at all. And you end up just paying taxes on the winnings, even though you then lost it. So that could be a major issue when it comes to gambling winnings. One of these days, I will write my book about the 16 things I learned about you by doing your taxes. One of those things is that nobody can afford to gamble. So it just doesn't pay. I had another guy who was a real estate guy. He had a bad year real estate wise and ended up spending a whole lot of time at the casino. And he comes in with these. So the W2Gs, every time he won like a roulette or a slot machine thing, he got a slip of paper. He had stacks and stacks of these papers. And I was going through and I was adding them all up. And there was literally hundreds of these slips of paper for this client this year. And I told him, hey, so this was all in the same casino. So I said, go to the casino, get your win-loss statement. Because whenever you use the gambler's card to get the special perks and everything, they keep track of all that stuff. Because what I don't want to happen is I don't want to have us be missing one of these slips and report the wrong number. He did that. He came back and everything. And he's telling me all this stuff about like, yeah, I closed these houses while I was at the craps table and did this, that, and the other. And I had a system. Everybody has a system. It's like, okay, that's great. Yeah. So I get the win-loss statement from the casino. But sure enough, he grossed $1.8 million worth of winnings. He did do that. Yeah. And he lost like 2.1. So he was upside down 300 grand. And it's just, people will tell themselves all kinds of stuff when it comes to gambling because it's a good behavior. No matter what you think is happening, the numbers are going to tell you the truth. And the casinos have the big buildings because they make the money. That's fundamentally how it works. So, don't gamble. If you are gambling, you should stop. The only exception is if it gets to be some outrageous prize, you could bet $5 on it, assuming that won't trigger something inside of you. Yeah, just stay away otherwise. But yeah, so how does gambling affect your tax return? Poorly is the answer. It's going to cause, it will often cause phantom income because you already spent it and lost it, but you can't deduct the losses because of that standard deduction issue. And the withholding on it is usually bad. So it's either 0 or 20%, which is generally not enough. That is gambling. And I've known like moral problems with gambling. It's just a bad idea.
So I'm pretty sure the ones that win the lottery and then they say, I'm going to take the taxes up front, right? That 20%. They probably think it's over. Like, I don't have to pay any more taxes.
They think it's over. You said they withheld. I'm fine. I can spend the rest of it.
Wow.
Not the case.
That's sad.
Yeah. So if you do win the lottery, the first person you call is an attorney. Second person you call is your tax accountant.
Sounds good.
Yeah.